Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. You want to come in for a hug? Just this once. So welcome to Tuesday's edition of the dceu Daily, and we've got a lot to get through today, and there's a few articles to read out, so let's get on with it. And this is really elaborating with what I was talking about with what Zack Snyder released on Father's Day. There's so much information coming out from Zack now daily. It looks like he really wants to pow the pressure on to Warner Brothers. So this one elaborates on basically what I was talking about yesterday. Justice League Zack Snyder confirms Flash saved the league with time travel. By Cooper Hood. Oh, this is a different journalist, isn't it? Let's give this a look. Zack Snyder's original ending of Justice League included Barry Allen, aka Flash, played by Ezra Miller, using time travel to save the league. Warner Bros. May have released a Justice League movie in theatres in November of 2017, but it was not the film that Snyder intended it to be. Massive reshoots at the hands of Joss Whedon overhauled the look, tone, and plot of Justice League. After Snyder left the project, despite all of these changes, information on the original director's vision has continued to surface. One of the characters most affected negatively by the different cuts is Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, played by Ray Fisher. He was previously said to be the heart of the movie in Snyder's story, and there is a fair amount of evidence that shows just how much of Cyborg's journey was left on the cutting room floor. He did prove to have an important role in the ending of the theatrical cut, as it was Cyborg who was tasked with stopping the unity of the three mother boxes, which would have terraformed the Earth. Snyder took to social media app Vero to share a new scene from the Snyder cut of Justice League that features Cyborg looking at another version of himself standing alongside his parents. Following the release of the image, fans quickly began asking Snyder where this scene fit in within the larger story of the Snyder cut. He revealed that Flash has to travel back in time to give Victor another chance to stop the Unity after first failing, and uses the Speed Force to project Cyborg inside one of the mother boxes. Wow! Snyder confirmed that only... let's go start again. Has to travel back in time to give Victor another chance to stop the Unity after first failing, and uses the Speed Force to project Cyborg inside one of the mother boxes. Snyder confirmed that only Cyborg can stop the Unity from the inside, and that this scene is accompanied by the mother box using Victor's parents to say, "My poor broken boy, I can make you whole again, Victor." Wow. That's amazing. That's fucking amazing, isn't it? The theatrical cut of Justice League doesn't give audiences an inside view of what Cyborg is dealing with in trying to stop the Unity, so this could have been a cool way to do just that. It is also important to remember just how tempting it could be for Cyborg to fall to these temptations of the mother box, as both his parents would be dead at this point in the Snyder cut. This could be the scene that Fisher previously said was really special to shoot. His mother died long ago, but his father was initially set to die much earlier on in the film. Giving Cyborg the chance to reunite with his family and ignoring it to save the world at large makes Snyder's plan for him to be the heart of Justice League all the more evident, and actually a beautiful and clever story that really fleshes out Cyborg and Victor Stone. And who says that Snyder is just a visual director? He can do emotions as well. He's such an underrated director. It's ridiculous, really. Giving Cyborg the chance to reunite with his family, ignoring it to save the world at large, makes Snyder's plans for him to be the heart of Justice League all the more evident. This sequence could even be connected to the flurry of deleted scenes that surfaced online shortly after the movie hit theatres. It's a shame that all of this didn't make it into the final cut. Yeah, it's more than a shame, and will instead only amplify interest in wanting to see the Snyder cut in some form. Why do you think Zack released it? With more details coming out all of the time, such as the first look at his young dark side, most of his plans have been revealed so far. That said, many will not be satisfied until a new cut of Justice League is released. Brilliant article, brilliant article. So I think that fleshes out what Zack was saying on Father's Day. One of the things that really inspires me and fascinates me. This idea of seeing Darkseid when he's young. Now, I forgot the name they call him, but yeah, that's fascinating to see, because this is what the Justice League theatrical cut didn't do. Explain Darkseid, even though we don't see him, he's mentioned once. The Unity isn't explained properly. Steppenwolf going, mother. Nobody understands or knows who his mother is. That they threw this Frankenstein's monster out there. It didn't even make sense to Binzak's ideas, Binzak's vision, to Binzak. As I said, have a phase 1, finish the 5-art plan, and then bring another creative in, which they've already done anyway. It was a crazy way to display yourself as a business, and this is why I think modern day studios, people say, oh, it's a business, they've got to make money, but the thing is, they don't even know how to make good business decisions anymore. Anyway, loads more articles to read. Yes, it's, anything Warner Brothers related is related to the DCEU. So I will always read these articles out. And this is a big one. J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot, nearing $500 million deal with Warner Media. This is massive. I both think this could be a bad thing and a good thing. I have a lot of respect for J.J. Abrams, mainly for Lost and Alias. And when he was kind of a ground floor creative, that's when he was at his best. When he became a corporate entity and he had his fingers in so many pies, I think this is when he started diverting into things he really didn't understand. But anyway, let's read this article from Screen Rant. J.J. Abrams' production company Bad Robot is nearing a deal with Warner Media that's estimated to be worth $500 million. Founded by Abrams in 2006, Bad Robot has become one of the premier homes for quality junior entertainment over the last decade. In addition to recent Star Trek, Star Wars, and Mission Impossible movie sequels, the company has produced hit TV series like Lost and Alias. Yep, they're the best things he ever did, basically, Lost and Alias, in the past, and is currently overseeing popular titles like Westworld for HBO and Castle Rock at Hulu. The company which Abrams runs with his wife and co-CEO Katie McGrath. Now, Katie McGrath is very interesting in this situation, and let me tell you why. Because Katie McGrath could become, within this deal, the new CEO of Warner Brothers. Now, they're not going to say this in this article, but I believe that is part of this deal, and this is why it's taking so long. This could be very interesting to have Katie McGrath and J.J. Abrams literally running Warner Brothers. How would that end up? An interesting situation, to say the least, and would affect the DCEU and all DC content. Has been in business with Warner Brothers Television and Paramount Pictures since the beginning, and initially signed deals with them through to 2019 and 2020 respectively. Last year, however, Bad Robot announced that it will be leaving Paramount in favour of a new deal with another studio. They've since been courted on the TV side by major players like Netflix, Comcast and Sony Entertainment, in addition to Amazon and Apple, which is currently working on getting their streaming service up and running. Now it appears they've settled on a place to hang their hat. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Bad Robot is in final negotiations with Warner Media for a deal that could be valued as high as $500 million. For the sake of comparison, that's $100 million more than the deal that Arrowverse co-star Greg Berlanti recently signed with Warner Brothers. And do you know what? Berlanti shouldn't even got that deal, because he shouldn't even be touching DC content. He's ruining it. I don't want to go into that anyway. It's also a major step up from deals that prolific showrunners Ryan Murphy and Shonda Rhimes signed with Netflix over the last 2 years, $300 million and $100 million respectively. It's silly money, it really is. As noted in the Hollywood Reporter's write-up, Warner Media was keen on keeping a reliable production house like Bad Robot in the fold ahead of the fast-approaching launch of its streaming service. This became all the more important in the wake of Westworld showrunners Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan inking a new deal with Amazon last year, before their series' first season arrives in 2020. Abrams, meanwhile, has been keeping busy on the TV side of business by producing upcoming Lovecraft country horror anthology and developing a sci-fi series, Demimonde, the first TV show he's created since Alias for HBO. The cable giant itself will reportedly be featured as part of a bundle of Warner Media streaming service later this year, so it shouldn't be all that long before Warner Media starts to benefit directly from their impending deal with Bad Robot. Wow. On the movie side, however, it's not clear what the future holds for Bad Robot and Paramount. Abrams' company has a film deal with Paramount through to March 2020, That will be non and void, and you know it if this deal goes through. But the THR, the Hollywood Reporter, says that steps are already being taken to move Bad Robot's movie deal with the studio over to Warner Media. Exactly. I said that before I read that. Abrams has announced the pair were working on another Cloverfield film last year, but between Bad Robot's new deal and the lack of updates since then, the project might be in danger of not happening at all now. Or Warner Media can take it over, can't they? And while Mission Impossible 7 and 8 are already moving forward and shouldn't be impacted, this seems like further assurance that Star Trek 4 will never come to pass. Fortunately, between his upcoming series December's Star Wars and The Rise of Skywalker, which Abrams currently in post-production on, there's still plenty of guaranteed Bad Robot goodness on the horizon. Yep, and it's all going to belong to Warner Media. So what do I think about this? As I say, this could be both positive and negative. You look at his first Star Trek 2009 movie, amazing. I thought Into Darkness wasn't a bad film, but it wasn't really Star Trek, was it? I think that's what the problem was. And then he kind of crossed over to Star Wars. Again, The Force Awakens. He did what he did with The Force Awakens, and he had a plan. He was putting all these kind of arcs together, and it was beautiful. And then we got The Last Jedi, and I don't want to talk about that. How many more times can we talk about that damn film and that damn situation? So he's a great creative. He's very talented. As I say, his wife's a great CEO. I think she'd do a great job to run Warner Media. I think having a woman running Warner Media would be very interesting. It would, it would capture the imagination as well. There's so many good elements to this, as long as we don't get too political like they've done on Disney. JJ has to focus on the content and giving the consumer the content it wants. Otherwise, none of this is worth it. On the DCEU side, J.J. Abrams, I've said this before, is desperate to write and direct the Superman film. He just about missed out, with Superman Flyby, which was the code name for the film. But I do believe if this deal goes through, he will be involved within the DCEU and he'll be able to cherry pick what he wants to do. And a Superman movie would be top of his list, and there's no question about that. So ultimately, I'm really excited about this, and I really think this could be something really interesting in the pipeline. So we spoke about this yesterday, about what Ray Fisher's been saying about his future as Cyborg. He clearly doesn't know. Well, that's what we think. So what I didn't cover yesterday is what else he said. And basically, he said he's not done with Cyborg yet. He doesn't think he's done with Cyborg yet. That's interesting. I don't think an actor comes out and says that unless there's some kind of inkling that this is still happening. I still don't think that Zack Snyder is totally out of the picture here. Some very interesting things are happening. Rumours of 2 DCEU universes as well. Something big is happening where we can compromise, where we can, have the escapism and the proper comic book films, but also have maybe Zack Snyder involved with what he was trying to do as well, which would be beautiful because it would please everyone. So Cyborg actor thinks he'll return in a future DCEU movie. Cool. I think if that happens, I'm dancing in my boxers. Not that I haven't done that on this channel every single day, but Jesus, I'll do it on a DCEU daily video. Right. Ray Fisher believes he'll return to play Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, again in the DC universe. When Warner Bros. began building their DC shared universe, it didn't take long for Zack Snyder's 5-movie vision to expand. In 2014, the studio announced a full slate of films for the next several years to come. Some of the farther out titles at the time, such as Shazam, have hit their targeted date, but the majority of the rest haven't found much progress. Solo movies for The Flash and Green Lantern have repeatedly struggled through development, but the solo Cyborg film has yet to find any traction whatsoever. This is despite Fisher generally impressing audiences with his version of the cybernetically enhanced hero in otherwise polarizing Justice League. The movie marked his first true appearance in the franchise after a very quick cameo in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. As of right now, Cyborg has yet to find a writer or director to tackle it, and there doesn't appear to be any push by Warner Bros. To change that. This has led many to wonder what future, if any, Cyborg has with the franchise. Speaking at a panel at Celebrity FanFest recently, Fisher discussed the outlook of his DC role, as shared in the tweets below from Claire Kramer and Super Bro movies. Fisher acknowledges the decision about Cyborg's future are above his pay grade, but did tease that he thinks he'll be back. I think if someone says that, I think when someone says that, they know something but can't elaborate. So Claire Kramer's tweets, that remains to be seen. There are a lot of decisions that are above my pay grade in regards to where these characters are going. Ray Fisher says, on the future of Cyborg. Right. Super Bro movies. When asked about a future Cyborg film, Ray has said, that's a little above my pay grade and I don't think my time is over yet. You know, to say that, you know something. In the lead up to Justice League, Fisher appeared to have a decently large role on the horizon as Cyborg. Zack Snyder called the character the heart of his cut of the movie and recently dropped a hint at how that could have been the case during the same time as Justice League's original production and before the reshoots and a new cut. Plans were also in place by then director of The Flash, Rick Famuyiwa, to use Cyborg. That plan appeared to be scrapped when he left the project, and it became a Flashpoint story for some time before now changing again. But the plan could have been for Cyborg to be a big part of Justice League, have a co-starring role in The Flash, and then get a solo film a few years later. This was a brilliant idea by Zack Snyder. Brilliant. Look, Warner Brothers made a mistake binning Zack in his vision. It's as simple as that. I don't care who hated it, how divisive it was. It brought in some bacon, and it was impressive and it was unique. It wasn't Marvelised, for Christ's sake. Please, whoever's going to take over Warner Brothers as a CEO, fix this situation. Instead of any of this happening, it's only Fisher's optimism about returning that remains. He said in the past that the movie is still on the way, but there's yet to be any sign that it's part of the new DC film's head of Walter Hamada's plans. It could be a shame if that's the case and would put Fisher's Cyborg in the same boat as Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, and possibly Ezra Miller's The Flash. Hopefully Fisher's belief that he'll reprise his role as Cyborg in the future is well placed and he'll get a chance to play him again. Well, listen, if Ray Fisher says he thinks he's not done with Cyborg, I believe him. Ray Fisher is a stand-up guy, speaks with his heart. You know, he's supported Zack Snyder. He doesn't have to do that. I think maybe originally I thought, well, he won't be working for Warner Brothers again if he's backing Zack. But I think there's something going on. There's something going on because Zack's releasing a lot of material. There's a buzz. There's a buzz. We've released the Snyder Cut now. There's a buzz. I'm feeling, I've got my head, I've got my ear to the ground, as you all know, and I try and reiterate to you what I think's going on. And the buzz is that not only will we get the Snyder Cut, but Zack will return to the DCEU in some kind of position. We know that James Gunn's involved now. We know that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be his last work with the MCU. He will not be developing a kind of a universal space universe or anything like that. He's coming to DC. That's why it was all allowed, just to finish off that film, because that's what he wanted to do. So seeing that James Gunn is mates with Zack Snyder, I think you can put 2 and 2 together and add 4, because James Gunn is in a really powerful position now. So, but I don't think they need, I think Warner Brothers know the mistake they made. They know what needs to happen with this universe. The DC universe is full of so many multiverses. And as long as we can explain that to the audience and the consumer, something special can happen with the DC world of movies as far as I'm concerned. So, a few weeks ago, actually, quite a few weeks ago, after I saw the test screening for the Joker movie, I confirmed to you, I was one of the first to confirm to you that this would definitely be an R-rated movie. And I mentioned it last week as well, but now the director, who has an Instagram account, so go follow Todd Phillips if you're interested, on Instagram. Go get yourselves an Instagram account. It's not just for beautiful people. After all, I'm on it, right? And I do some fucking fucked up shit on there. So, what am I? I'm Big Mouth 234 on Instagram, so give me a follow. A lot of chat, a lot of dancing in my boxers. It's nuts, but it's fun. So, Joker director shares BTS photo of Joaquin Phoenix, confirms intended R rating. Todd Phillips shares new behind-the-scenes look at Joker while also confirming that the film will be R rated. Actors like Cesar Romero, brilliant Joker by the way, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger and Jared Leto have transformed into the clown prince of crime for movies. but Joaquin Phoenix is set to play the Joker in the character's first solo origin story. Phillips will be directing the film, who is most known for directing movies like Old School, The Hangover and War Dogs. He's a really good director. Ever since the film entered production, Phillips has been teasing fans with Joker images. Last September, the director shared the first look of Phoenix as Arthur Fleck, before revealing Phoenix's full Joker makeup. The following week, Phillips has continually shared stills of Phoenix as the Joker, but there has also been an abundance of set photos and videos from Joker that gave fans an even better look at the character in action. Things have been a bit quiet since the poster and teaser trailer for Joker were released, but now fans have gotten another behind-the-scenes look at the film. Posting on Instagram, Phillips shared a new still of Phoenix's character. In the image, Arthur is sitting in front of a mirror applying white face paint. Phillips captioned the post, "Finishing touches," but the comment section was more interesting than his actual caption. In the comment section, somebody asked Phillips what the MPAA rating of the film would be, to which Phillips responded, "It will be R. I've been asked this a lot, just assume people knew. Sorry." Phillips' original post can be seen below. And I showed you this post the other day. I don't know if you can see this properly, but it's literally Joaquin Phoenix putting the makeup on. Now, I don't know if this is within the film or if this is... I'm assuming this is part of the film, right? It is part of the film, right? That's what we see. But I'm not sure if this is an outtake. So, very interesting. While the Joker has already appeared in Suicide Squad for the DC Extended Universe, Phillips' Joker movie will be more of a standalone story. At one point, Warner Brothers seemed to be in competition with Marvel and their cinematic universe, but after poor reviews, here we go again, for several of their films like Justice League and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, they seem to be taking a different route. Instead of trying to make giant shared universe like Marvel, Warner Brothers seems to be focusing more on passion projects like with Ava DuVernay and her new Gods movie. They thought they'd just mention Ava DuVernay, right? For a while, it had been thought that Warner Brothers was shooting for an R rating for Joker, but Phillips has now confirmed the rating. This will be a change of pace for DC films, as the only R-rated superhero films they've had are the animated movies that often don't get a theatrical release. That being said, Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn will be rated R. So Joker could set a new precedent for DC films. If it is successful, regardless with a twisted as the Joker can be, it will likely be reassuring to fans that Joker will sure be rated R. Well, first of all, not all DC movies will be rated R, even if this film is successful. This film will be successful. This film is a unique take on the Joker. It's an Elseworld story. It's a multiverse story. It's part of their Black Label. A Black Label they haven't even announced yet, but you're all going to love the Joker movie. You should all go out and see it when it comes out in October. It's very exciting times. And, of course, next year, with Birds of Prey R-rated, Wonder Woman 1984 will have a proper family rating, of course. It's exciting times because we've got these different type of DC World movies coming out. And we still don't know what's happening with the Snyder Cut or Superman or The Flash. So there are some very exciting announcements to come within the DC world of movies. And this is the place. This is the place you're going to find it out first. You don't need a brilliant camera. You don't need great editing equipment. You just need to have a passion for what you're talking about. Like I started a YouTube video, so can you. And don't forget, if you want to see the Snyder Cut, please support Project Comic Con. Please donate. They've made $20,000 already, $20,000, so they can have banners and posters and something in the sky during San Diego Comic Con. So if you're passionate enough, please donate. They're not keeping any of the money for themselves. Any money left over will be given to Autumn Snyder's appeal and the suicide prevention charities. So if you are passionate about it, please donate. Let's get this Snyder Cut out. Well, look, everyone is talking about this movement now. It's a quaint, unique movement. And no matter what negativity is thrown at us, we always come back fighting. We will see the Snyder Cut eventually. And if enough people come out and support that film, who knows, Zack could be back. And ultimately, that would be a beautiful thing. Because if that 5-movie arc could be completed, how amazing would that be? Right now, that's a faint dream. That's not going to happen right now, but who knows? So please comment down below. Please talk to me. What do you think about all the information Zack Snyder's been releasing? Are you excited? Are you excited to be able to see a young Darkseid and then see the finished article, to see this epic movie, this epic vision that Snyder had envisioned? Please comment down below. Please like, share and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. But this is going to take hours to upload.